It's Friday, August 1st, 2025. A lot to talk about. I want to get right into this video. If you need to get a coffee, hot coffee, cold coffee, whatever your beverage of choice is, grab it. We got a lot to talk about. And let's start with the markets. Dow Jones got pummeled today, down 542 points. At one point it was down, I saw it down around 700. This could have been much worse. NASDAQ down 472 points. So what caused this? Well, we got the jobs data today. The jobs data was horrible, very bad. We'll talk about that also. And we've got these tariffs that are going to be going into effect with virtually every nation starting August 7th. So markets getting a little bit nervous about the tariffs. They're nervous about the jobs data. And we are now beginning to see the cracks forming in the labor market with jobs. And we've been talking about this for a while. And I said, look, once this administration, I said this last year, once this administration gets in, we're going to begin to see the real job data, the real job numbers, right? U.S. added just 73,000 jobs in July, and numbers for prior months were revised much lower. This revision was awful. June and July, the revisions were sharply lower, down 258,000 jobs. That's a big revision on top of the jobs we added today, which was horrible, 73,000 jobs. So what is going on here? I'm watching all these financial channels. I'm watching Fox Business here today, and I'm hearing about how good the economy is. If the economy is so good, where are the jobs? And when we take a look at the jobs that we added in July, not good. Here's where the jobs are. This on CNBC. You can Google this stuff. And this is going to be a big problem, I think, now, month over month. Will this force the Fed now to have to cut interest rates? I don't know. Maybe not. Because the Fed is looking at unemployment, which today is 4.2%. It's not bad. But they're not really looking at this jobs data where we're adding just 73,000 jobs. So they're looking at the unemployment numbers. And if unemployment stays in the low fours, they may not cut in September. What do you think? Comment down below. Will the Fed cut rates in September? Right now, I'm 50-50. I would not be shocked to say, no, they're not going to cut in September. Non-farm payrolls expanded by 73,000 last month. July 2025 job creation. Let's talk about that. Where were the jobs in July? Well, I'm going to tell you where they were at. They were at healthcare and social assistance. 73.3 thousand jobs. This made up 94% of the job growth for July was in healthcare and social assistance. Most of these jobs are low-paying jobs. Not all, but most. Many of these are part-time jobs. Many of these are government jobs. It made up 94% of the job growth in July, and it reflects that we're a very sick nation. We're not healthy. This is where the jobs are at, in healthcare and social assistance. This is not good. Are we going to be the world superpower because we have all the healthcare jobs? No, we're going to be the sickest nation in the world. Retail trade came in second at 15.7 thousand, financial activities at 15,000. And this was interesting. All the way down, leisure and hospitality at only 5,000 jobs for July. This is a bad sign. This is a bad indicator right here because leisure and hospitality was always one or two, right? So that means that a lot of people working at restaurants, hotels, service sector type jobs, we didn't see a lot of hiring, so it's slowing down. Not a good indication. Transport and warehouse jobs, only 3.6 thousand jobs added in July. Again, this does not reflect what we're being told about the booming economy. We should be seeing leisure and hospitality jobs exploding. We should see these transportation and warehouse jobs exploding. We're not. Even construction jobs were flat, yet we're being told about all the construction in the booming economy. This is another real bad one. Manufacturing. We lost 11,000 manufacturing jobs in July. How do you lose 11,000 manufacturing jobs in a good economy? a booming economy, a great economy that's growing, GDP up 3%, wages going up. People are telling me that things are really, really good. Well, how do you lose 11,000 manufacturing jobs? Professional and business services lost 14,000 jobs in July. So to sum it up, where were all the jobs? Well, they were in healthcare and social assistance, because we have a very obese, very ill society. And now it is creating a lot of part-time, low-wage jobs, and this is where people are going. So maybe we're going to see people leaving leisure and hospitality and going into healthcare. Not a good sign for the U.S. economy at all. Here's another one from The Hedge today. The untold story in today's jobs report, the unprecedented purge of illegal workers. So maybe this is another reason that we're seeing such a low creation of jobs, is because of all these people that no longer are in this country or are too afraid to go to work. Full-time jobs tumbled 440,000 to 134.8 million. Part-time jobs, though, surged by 237,000 to 28.4 million. But what do you think? Does the jobs data, is there any correlation between the purge of illegal workers being exited out of the country? I don't know. It probably has something to do with it. But then you could also say that because of all these people from all over the world who were working illegally, that this was just offsetting a lot of the numbers too, that there was a lot of manipulation with the numbers because you had people here and they were able to manipulate job numbers, right? So let me know your thoughts on that. If you think it had anything to do with it, and do you think it's going to be a problem with a lot of these people now exiting the country voluntarily or being ordered to leave out of this country voluntarily or involuntarily? Is it going to have an effect on the job market? Or does it mean that there's going to be more jobs, more opportunity for Americans? Let me know your thoughts on that. Interesting one today from Crypto World, CNBC. Crypto wobbles into August as Trump's new tariffs trigger risk-off sentiment. I know that there are people out there that love crypto, and look, if you love it, God bless you. If you love to gamble, God bless you. There's people who love to go to Vegas and gamble and all that stuff. Be very, very cautious. A lot of people believe that, that nothing bad can happen because this is the future. Every time we see the markets in trouble, what happens to crypto, especially if you look at the NASDAQ, seems to trade very close to the NASDAQ and technology stocks. You look at what happens to Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other ones, and they literally get annihilated. Because these cryptos are trading with the market. And if you believe that the markets, this massive market bubble is going to continue and it's going to continue forever, then you should probably buy more crypto. But if you believe that we are on the verge, the cusp of something very, very big happening to these markets, a massive correction, a massive collapse, I believe at some point we are going to witness a collapse in the stock market where you're going to see the stock market down 50% or more. And I believe cryptos will get absolutely annihilated with it. So be very, very careful with that because big trouble is coming. And when you look at what gold did today, I don't know if I have the number here. Gold up over $73 as I make this video right now. Silver was up just 32 cents. Oil down $2. Bitcoin down 2,500. Ether down 180. That's 5% down. Solera down $9, 5%. So if you believe everything's going to be okay, you believe the market bubble is going to continue to go on forever, you probably should buy a bunch of crypto, back up the truck. If you believe the opposite, if you believe this thing is going to come to a halt, if you believe these markets are going to get annihilated and you're holding crypto, I would be extremely careful. I don't give financial advice. I could be completely wrong. I'm just thinking today in front of this camera. And you can give me your thoughts down below. You can agree, disagree, whatever. But it just seems to me every time we see a big hit in the markets, these cryptos get toasted. And so when we do have this market reckoning, and it is going to happen, what do you think will happen to the cryptos versus what do you think gold is going to do? So I know a lot of people have given in. A lot of people are tempted by the easy money, the quick money. I think the other day I said, I hope you buy the dip when gold and silver pulled back. Buy the dip. We had a couple nice little dips this week, and you're up over $73 today. So I'm betting against the debt. I'm betting against the debt, and I'm betting that we are going to see a massive economic reckoning and a massive stock market reckoning. And if Jerome Powell and the Fed give in to this jobs data, which they may not, it's 50-50, but they're going to at some point. And when they do, they're going to unleash inflation. When they cut rates, inflation is going up. That's how it works. And when inflation goes up, gold goes up, and silver is going along for the ride. So make sure that you're really paying attention to what is going on. Make sure that you have assets that you can physically touch, because I believe that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I'm not saying don't buy cryptos, don't invest in cryptos. Look, you can gamble all you want. That's up to you. But pay attention to what's going on. Every time these markets take a big hit, the cryptos take a big one too. And my question is, when these markets get absolutely annihilated, and they're going to, what is going to happen to cryptos? Do you want something that you have to plug into the computer, or something that you can dig out of the ground or go to your safe and pull out, that is going to have extreme liquidity, that can be converted to any fiat currency in the world, and the world, like the central banks, continue to stockpile this, and they look at it as really the world reserve currency. Yeah, I think that, look, people will go, you can't eat your gold. Oh, I can't go to the grocery store. Sure you can. You go, you sell the gold, you convert it to any currency you want to, and there'll be plenty of banks, there'll be plenty of coin dealers, there'll be plenty of people in the private party institutions that are going to want gold. And the question is, are they really going to want your cryptos? Are they really going to want these digits on a screen? Or are they going to want something that came out of the ground, something with a 5,000-year history? Are they going to want something tangible, something physical, something that is safety, that is an example of safety, something that's gone through world wars, currency collapses, Great Depressions, empires collapsing, and gold and silver are still here. Something to think about. Comment down below. When the markets collapse, would you rather be holding cryptos, or would you rather be holding gold and silver? Comment down below. Let me know. That is a question that I'm very curious to see what the viewers really think. When the markets crash, do you want to be holding gold and silver, or do you want to be holding cryptos? Put it down below. Bloomberg, U.S. manufacturing contracts at fastest pace in 9 months. Factory employment slid to the lowest level in 5 years. Also, producers are seeing lower demand. And so people are buying less, and what are people buying? They're buying essentials, and they're having to pay more and get less. This is continuing. You buy more, or excuse me, you pay more, you get less. You buy some cereal, you buy a bag of chips, it's half full. The quality's horrible, but you're paying more for it. And a lot of people now are just buying what they need. Daily Mail, Americans in panic as PayPal and Venmo outages leaves millions unable to access money. PayPal and Venmo experienced outages this morning, preventing millions of users from sending or receiving payments. They can't tell us right now what caused this, but understand this. They can shut the system down by the press of a button. And all these people who love the convenience of digital currency, electronic money, just remember that just the press of a button, they can shut you down. They can shut Venmo down. They can shut PayPal down. They can shut your bank down. They can shut the entire system down. This is why, to me, it's imperative to be owning some gold, to be owning some silver. And if you need help with that, because I know a lot of people don't know how to do it. They have questions. Go to my link down below, SD Bullion. You can order some gold, order some silver. Just buy an ounce. Buy a couple ounces of gold, buy a couple ounces of silver. It's simple. And if you have questions, you can call SD Bullion. Tell them Jeremiah sent you. But I think it's imperative to be owning real assets now, not this monopoly money, not this fantasy money, these digits on a screen that are going to be so easy to shut down and control. The trouble, hit the payment apps around 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Were you affected by this whatsoever? People sent money, it says here, and they have no idea where it went. They sent it to specific parties. They never got it. So they don't know where the money is now. This is, again, a problem here with this technology and the convenience of these technologies and these apps. But when they go wrong, they go wrong. And so hopefully these people won't be out of money. Some people couldn't access their accounts. Their accounts showed zero money. It's a big problem. And just think about, with all of the cyber attacks that are happening and all the threats of cyber attacks and all this technology that all these countries have now, it's just a matter of time before we see real massive outages that could affect our banking and financial systems. Do you really want to be having all your money and assets in a bank or on a computer? I would say my advice today is get out of the system the best that you can. Don't have all of your money in the system, sitting on a computer screen, sitting at a bank. God forbid there are ever bank runs in this country again. Bail-ins, bailouts, it's going to be a big problem. They're going to get your money one way or the other. They're going to steal it out of the bank, or they're just going to steal it through inflation. And it's another reason why I really don't trust crypto. Not to say that you can't make money. Look, you can go to Vegas tonight and you might make some money, you might lose some money. To me, it's straight up gambling. People will agree, people will disagree. That's my opinion. You have your opinion. To me, it is straight up gambling. And I don't think that this is a good time to be gambling. My opinion only, not financial advice. You got to do what you feel is right for you. Moving in, Donald Trump orders nuclear submarines to be moved near Russia as he blasts foolish nuke threat from Putin crony. He blasted Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, who traded taunts with Trump in recent days, reminding him Russia possessed Soviet-era nuclear strike capabilities of last resort. You know, let's just pray to God that words like this never come to fruition. But this is dangerous talk, and now it's going to the next step, to where we have nuclear subs moving closer to Russia. Very, very concerning stuff. And we are living in a time now where you don't know what you're going to wake up to. And every day, you know, when I do these shows, every day the news is different, and we're beginning to see things accelerate much, much faster than they were a year ago. And we're seeing things now like these wars in the Middle East, the wars in Eastern Europe, the taunting with Russia, massive nuclear superpower, trade war with the world basically, and a trade war with China that I just don't think China is going to give in. Things are really, really beginning to accelerate. And I think that the world is losing a lot of respect for America as we weaponized the US dollar over decades. And now this is why the BRICS nations are getting so powerful. And this is why the world, I think, is really going to leave the United States behind. And so I think you got to really, really be paying attention to what is going on right now. And especially you got to be protecting whatever wealth you have. You need to be protecting it. It may not even be a matter of how much money you can make. It may be a matter of how much money, you know, you don't lose. Because a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money, and you just, at this point, may try to lose the least amount of money possible, because you're fighting against so much: taxes, inflation, fraud, unemployment, you name it. It's just hard to hang on to whatever wealth you have right now. And look, I think there will be some opportunities out there, but I think the name of the game right now is try to lose as little as possible, protect what you have, hunker down, because I think it's going to be a very, very bumpy 12 to 24, 36 months. I really, really do. And heaven forbid things escalate with Russia and China. These are powerful countries. I know America's a powerful country, but we're a very bankrupt nation, and we've squandered our strategic petroleum reserves. We've squandered our munitions, our drones. We are bankrupt, 37 plus trillion. That's if you even believe that number. We know it's much bigger. We continue to lie to ourselves that inflation's 2.7%. You know it's 20 to 30%. Unemployment is 24%. That's the real number. It's not 4.2%, it's 24%. You all know that. But the majority of this country, they're sheep, and they don't understand what's going on. But they do understand that they have no money in the bank. They're paycheck to paycheck if they're lucky. They're falling deeper into debt. And many people now are struggling just to hang on to what they have, to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, make the car payment. The repo man is extremely busy. Extremely busy. The banks are going to be extremely busy at some point when they begin to foreclose on properties in America. And I know people, the same people who said that the housing market would never slow down, that it's going to go on forever, and it's just going to continue to go and go and go. And now we are in a housing collapse. Inventory is beginning to accelerate. Days on market lasting longer. We're seeing price drops throughout the country. And it's just a completely frozen market. People cannot afford to pay these prices, especially at these rates, which are normal rates. So we need to see prices come down. We're going to continue to get more inventory and more inventory, and homes will stay on the market longer and longer. And now we're going to see less jobs out there, and we're going to see more people losing their jobs. So you're going to see a flood of homes hitting the market, especially these short sales where people just cannot rent these homes out. They're going to flood the market. And then when the institutional investors, start unloading, it's going to be too late for the little guy. So if you're selling something right now, you better price it right and get out. That's my advice this weekend. If you're thinking about selling, or you are selling right now, don't be greedy. Price it right. Get the heck out of this thing, because this market is really beginning to slow down. Last year was horrible. This year now is even worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. I'm going to leave it there today. Have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless every one of you. Talk soon.